I'm Tony Beshara, and I'm going to help you do better at finding a job.
He is listed by Fordyce Magazine as the #1 headhunting career placement guy in the country. The #1 guy. His name's Tony Beshara.
Anthony, hi, how are you? Nice of you to come by. Have a seat, won't you? All right. Yeah, I found a very unique story behind you. You wanted to participate in this. Give us your background. Why?
Well, it's been a really hard 2011.
Okay.
And finding a job necessarily was not the most important part of my year. It was taking care of my girlfriend.
Okay, what happened with your girl?
She was a doctorate student at University of Miami. I had just finished my master's program in December, so it's promising, 2 young careers. And she got sick with an unknown mystery virus and was in the hospital for 2 weeks, unable to walk. She's come a long way since, but so for the next 4 months she was in a wheelchair. So gave up my job search. I had an interview when she was in the hospital. The stress of everything that happened, I kind of bombed that. So
where was your interview?
It was with the Derailed Parks and Recreation Department, programming for the city, yes, in Florida.
All right.
Then we ended up moving to Dallas
Why
this
did
summer.
you move here?
So she could be with her family.
Okay.
And the resources here were better than what we had going for us in Miami, and it didn't look like she was going to be able to go back to school.
Okay, have they figured out what the issue is?
She was diagnosed with CFID, so chronic fatigue immune deficiency syndrome.
Okay.
And fibromyalgia and peripheral neuropathy. So,
all right.
So that's what we got going on with her so far.
So you moved to Dallas to be with her.
To be with her.
Okay, she's recovering slowly, right?
Slowly, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of jobs have you been looking for?
I've been trying to get a job at a place called Anthony Travel, which is a college event planning company. They schedule trips for universities, and that's one of the things that I did when I was a student manager and when I was a graduate assistant as well.
Okay.
So I thought my background, I did that for 5 years, so my background in that gives me a little more of an advantage over your normal candidate. I've been looking.
Did you get an interview with them?
Not yet. I've been trying.
Okay.
Called her 3 times.
Do you know if they need anybody, or are you just saying?
No, I do know that they need somebody.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I contacted one of the vice presidents of the company, and he'd get me in touch with the hiring manager, and so I've been relentlessly pursuing her.
Have you called him and told him you're trying to pursue her?
I have not.
Okay, not a bad idea to do. Is there
sure
anybody else in that company that you can talk to other than her?
Probably.
Okay.
If I were to reach out, I'm sure I could figure out.
So you figure it out. Okay, so you're being persistent.
I'm trying.
Now the truth is 3 isn't very many.
No, I know, but it's
3 a day is a lot.
3 a day.
Have you pursued any other organization like that? That's a good idea, by the way.
Another thing that I'm doing right now is I'm training to be a sports psychologist, which is why I went to college, which is why I worked with athletic teams, which is why I got a master's to eventually go get a PhD. And then after this whole thing happened, I kind of put that on hold, but I met some people in Dallas that gave me an opportunity to do that. So I'm pursuing that and training on the side for that, which is more or less an entrepreneurial venture whenever I want to put enough time into it, and maybe, weekend things. I'm not going to build a empire around it for myself, to take care of 2 people. So that is pretty much it.
Okay, you got to get over this, man.
I do.
Okay, you got to find a job, okay? And part of helping her is finding a job. You got to be able to make a living.
Yeah.
As you plan to marry this gal, you need an income. You can't just sit around and say this is a sad situation. So you can either do that now or you can do that later. But if you do it later, you'll be more and more poor.
For sure.
Okay? And being poor sucks. Okay? All right? Right? It's not fun, right?
Agreed.
Okay, I want to say this kindly, and I'm not a psychologist. Okay, my PhD is in education, and I want to say this. You might be using this as a crutch, Anthony. It might be the reason that you don't want to take a risk and you want to use that way. That's not good. The Lord only sends us stuff that we can deal with, right?
Agreed.
Okay, He doesn't send us stuff we can't deal with. And you need to figure out how to deal with it. You've got to take massive action. Don't just start sending these damn resumes online. That's a total waste of time.
Okay.
You got to pick up the phone, you got to call somebody, and you got to say, look, I need to come interview with you, okay, because I'm a good employee. When you get into the interview, I would very briefly say, my girlfriend experienced a serious illness. We moved to Texas so she could be with her family, and then drop it. Okay? Because if employers think that you're too preoccupied with her illness, they'll think, we hire this guy and he's going to be more worried about that than he is keeping the job. Even though that might be the case, you can't let them know that, okay?
For sure.
look, you're the psychologist, okay, but you're coming across as beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that I've taken
Anthony,
a whooping this year.
You've taken a whooping.
I gotta fight
Everybody
back.
takes a whooping in life, okay? And the older you get, the more whippings you're going to get, okay? That's where you need to be strong and you need to be aggressive. Action overcomes fear. There's a lot of this that's fear, okay? And you're right. Illness in a family, looking for a job, it all ranks up there with plain old emotional strain, okay? But you got to meet it. And the way you meet it is activity, action. You got to take massive action. It's like watching a flat tire. You can't just sit there and look at it and go, hey, get better. It isn't going to get any better, man.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you know, you present yourself very well. You've got a very good background. Okay, so you've had some setbacks in life. Everybody has setbacks, okay? Everybody has setbacks. So it's how you're going to deal with those setbacks. So you need to really take action, massive action, get a lot of interviews, and really start going to work. And I don't care what kind of job it is. Any job you can get, you need to start there.
Okay.
Okay? And practice being forceful.
Yeah.
Throw that chest out a little bit, okay? You're coming in here like you're beat. Stop it.
All right.
Okay?
I got you.
All right.
I got you.
Gentlemen, take care of the man, will you? God bless Anthony. He's in the same boat that a whole lot of people are. He's got setbacks in life, some pretty serious setbacks with his girlfriend. I really appreciate his commitment to her. However, having said that, the reality is this boy needs to get a job. He comes in all meek and humbled. I mean, did you see he was scrunched down in his desk and he's talking a little bit above a whisper? That isn't going to get him very far. This kid's got to get out there and he's got to get with it. And I know it's not going to be easy to do. I never said that any of this stuff was easy. Okay, it's simple, but it's not easy. So he's going to have to get with it. Of all of the people we spoke to today, he's probably the one that has been beat down the most, and he's probably going to have to be the most aggressive, and he's probably going to have to do more activity than anybody else. There's a job out there for him, but Anthony's going to really have to work to get where he needs to be.